sustainable way, is good for sustainable economy. And you have to show 3 answers, 3 reasons for why catalysts is good for sustainable economy. So the first reason is the high activity of catalyst. High activity of catalyst. So you know, if you add catalyst into the reaction is way more. The reaction become more easily to occur, easily to proceed. You can proceed the reaction very easily. I mean, in lower energy, so which means lower capacity are required if you use catalyst, and then you can reduce the energy. You can reduce the energy needed for the reaction, which is good for a sustainable economy, of course. And the second reason is that high selectivity. So if you use a catalyst determine the lower catalyst. If you add catalyst in a reaction, 1 or 2 specific routes of reaction become lower energy, which means the reaction can choose the lowest energy way. And then at first there are many routes there are many routes for the reaction, but if you add catalyst, the reaction occurs only in the lowest energies way. So this means that selectivity of the reaction product or reaction route increase. So why is this good for a sustainable economy? Because fewer separate. So after the reaction product mix. The products are a mix of many chemicals produced via the reaction, right? But if you can select a more efficient way and you can increase the selectivity, you don't have to separate the produced chemicals because they are already separated through the reaction. There are only 1 or 2 specific products at the end. And which leads to less waste. And the third reason is high flexibility. High flexibility. I guess, in my opinion, this is the most important thing for catalyst. The high flexibility leads to use existing unit to produce new products or new materials, and this is called reuse in our world. So catalyst facilitate reuse in our world. Very good. So the last question, number C. Considering crude oil as an example, why is it advisable to use the remaining resources as a chemical feedstock rather than as an energy source? So why it's good for the environment, like good for our life, why is it good for us to use? Why is it good for us to use crude oil as an resource? Why is it good for us to use crude oil as a chemical feedstock rather than as an energy source? This is a bit complicated, I think. So when you have chemicals, there are two ways, but it's easy. One is to store them and use it later when it's necessary. The first thing is store them for future. Store them for the future time when we need to use it. When we really need to use it. This is one way. One way is store them for our future, and when we really need to use it, we're gonna use it. But the other thing is use it as an energy source immediately. And answer for this question, which is better, is answer for the question that which is better for us is that store them as a chemical feedstock. So the first reason is chemical structures of crude oil is difficult to obtain otherwise. Yeah. So chemical structures of crude oil is very rich. It means it has specific structures which are hard to obtain otherwise, difficult to obtain otherwise. And the second reason is energy can be obtained by other means. Yeah, we have some more other ways to get energy, obtain energy, produce energy. So, and most of them are renewable, so they won't let me search. They won't run out. So we won't run out of them. So we have some other options to make energy, to obtain energy, and most of them are called renewable energy. So we won't run out of them. But the thing is different in chemicals. Chemicals is not renewable. So one day, if we keep on using it, one day we are gonna run out of it. So for this, so as an answer, I'd say, as an answer for this question, I would say we should store the chemicals, and instead we are gonna make energy from these sustainable renewable energy, renewable resources. And yeah, we have known processes to extract all of these chemicals from it, and besides, but this logic collapsed. This logic would collapse if we can't if we can't make our target chemicals, if we can't make our target compound from crude oil, I mean, if we can't make some specific, if we can't make our aim so if we can't make our aim product from crude oil, it doesn't make sense to keep on having the crude oil. Rather than that, we should use the crude oil as an energy resource, which makes sense, right? So, going back to the first logic, we should store chemicals as a feedstock, and instead we should use renewable energy as an energy resource. So in this theory, in this idea, we should be able to produce all the chemicals that we want to and is able to produce from that we want to and are able to produce from crude oil. So, for example, crude oil is the mix of carbohydrate. So we should be able to make almost all carbohydrate from crude oil. Otherwise, we shouldn't store them because it doesn't make sense to just store them. We should use it as an energy resource instead. So that's my conclusion. Our conclusion. No, not my conclusion. This is a conclusion from the history of chemistry. That's all.